In this video, we've got Monza turn 1. Is it death? In race B, Shelty gets sent to the Shadow Realm. And in race C, somebody absolutely sends it on me. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Gran Turismo weekly race guide here in 2023. Week 10 and quite a bit of a weird week if I'm honest with you. Race A looking very good. You can see that in the background. We're in the Honda RA272, so the brand new car to Gran Turismo 7. And we're at Monza, which means turn 1 carnage. Or should mean turn 1 carnage, and you probably will experience some of that. It's time to do race A. Well, what else are we doing here? Well, we're racing 5 laps. It's a grid start. And it's times 1 fuel and tyre wear. And Bop is on, of course, so that does mean no tuning. Just jump in, play, and have some good old fun. There's some timestamps in the background there for you as well, if you want to skip over race A. But I would give this one a go. Very unique driving style needed for this car. Very unique driving experience. And I reckon you can have a bit of good racing here, there, and everywhere. Let's jump to the race end. Let's have a look at exactly what happens, as well as the lap guide straight after it. Here we are then at the start. Only 10 drivers in this first race. Even so, we'll see how it goes as we get ready to start. Put traction control on 1, not on 5, as I did there. As we get ready, foot to the floor, off we go. No penalties here. And make sure you rev the nuts out of this car. You need to hit the limiter there. You need to get right up to that 12,000 mark on the rev counter as we head towards turn 1. A couple people not getting good starts there for whatever reason. We're going to head in towards this first turn, then slow it down here. And we're actually going to look around the outside of Chicane potentially. No, not quite. A little bit of contact here there, but not too bad for a turn 1 at Monza. But I do say so myself. We come out of there in P4. P4, which is not a bad start at all. They're 3 wide behind as we head towards the Curva Grande. I used to call this the Grande Curve, which doesn't work out at all. And we're going to head towards the second chicane then. And we need to brake very early here. In this car, you brake earlier than you realise because it just doesn't stop at the very end. See, Chicken Angel just goes a bit deep there. We're going to get a good run through this corner. And again, even just being slightly higher in the revs means significant power gain here. And you can see that with Chicken Angel. Chicken Angel looking round the outside then. Looking like a good move as well. We're going to try and beat it out of here as quick as we can. We're side by side as we head towards the next corner. In towards the braking zone we go. We chuck it in. Through we go. And we continue on. Now at this point is where my OBS decided to play up. So what I did is I switched over the content. You can't tell at the moment. While I was fixing it, as we got a bit oversteery there, so you can tell I was concentrating somewhere else. Come back on the track very safely. Chicken Angel slows it down as well as we go through the left then and continue on out. You're going to start seeing me veer over to the right here as I stop and start OBS again as we go onto the grass. And then we're going to go back to the OBS content in a second. And you won't notice a difference. The power of editing, folks, the power of editing. So Dav gained 2 positions there as we go into the Parabolica, but goes a little bit too deep. Very easy to do in this car. Very easy to do indeed. And let's look in that mirror again as they're 3 wide once again as we continue on towards lap 2 and we catch up to Inferno, folks, who has a penalty. They just went a bit too deep at turn 1 and we're in fact going to get a same penalty because we cut the corner. It's very easy to get a track limit penalty in this car because it's so small and thin. You think you can cut a lot more than you can, especially in this camera because you can't see the front of the car. Advancing a lap later then, and we're behind Inferno Fox. We've both got rid of our penalties. Inferno Fox just goes a little bit too deep here, and once again, it's that run out of a corner where I gain all that advantage. And look at the time difference you get just from carrying that bit more speed or maintaining that bit more power. And that's what you're going to see in the time trial lap as well. It's all about maintaining that power, hitting the rev limiter. And we advance to this final lap then where we catch up to P1 and we're actually going to start to look down the inside of P1 then as we head towards the braking zone. We're braking well before the 150 meter board this time. The French driver outbrakes me comfortably there. Well played to Regularly there. Going through the left, we boot out of here as quick as we can. No traction issues, so it did work out with foot to the floor. We're side by side, and once again, we're over-revving that car, and you can see the difference. Look at that time gained from absolutely revving the nuts out of this thing. You go as far as you can in this. Look at it. We stay. Then we change gear. In towards the braking zone we go. Can we get it stopped? We can indeed. We took it left. We took it right. Ooh, you know what's coming, folks. That was a bit too much. It's a 0.5 second penalty, but we gained 1.5 seconds over that time period, over P2. But it does mean, in fact, we're going to keep P1 as we advance towards the line then. Finishing in P1. Happy days. A win finally in this weekly race guide. Happy days indeed. TCR, Inferno Fox, Chelsea there, P3 and P4. I reckon you can have some good fun with this race, as I say. There will be a bit of carnage here, there, and everywhere. If you hit a sausage in this, you go flying. The car literally flies, so do be careful. Track guide time, heading towards turn 1 then. What you're looking for is between the 200 and the 150 meter. It's bang in the middle of it. There's no other reference. In the race, you do have a flag indicator you can use. You could try and use the white line as well, but it's in between these. And it's very hard to actually nail it properly. Now, you can cut quite a bit at the first corner. Just be careful about cutting too much. Absolutely boot it out of this corner, okay? You saw how I called up to people very quickly. Traction is no issue. Just boot it out and go. The only thing you will suffer with is understeer as the car lifts up as it gets more power. Head towards the second chicane then. What you're looking for is the 150 board on the right-hand side. You're braking just before the 150 board there. You're going to drop to third gear. Don't go to second gear here. You want third gear just for a bit of stability, okay? Now, you can cut a little bit of this corner like so, and you can do the same on the second sausage, but don't hit the sausage. If you hit the sausage, you go flying. So either make a decision not to cut it or cut it and hope for the best. For this first Lesmo then, it's the 50 meter board on the left-hand side. You're braking literally at it. And this corner, you do want to drop to third gear. It may seem like you'll lose time to change your gear, but the power gain from being up in the revs outweighs being in fourth gear. This next corner, again, you're braking early now, earlier than the 50 meter board, but you're using that as a bit of a guide here. The later you brake, the more oversteer you'll get with weight transfer. But again, third gear for this corner. You want the run out the corner. Do not go over that curb too much. Just clip it like I did and absolutely boot it, okay, as we head towards Ascari. On the right-hand side then, what we're looking for, again, is the 150 board. You're braking very early here, so you're braking just after that 150 board, okay? You're looking for it. As it disappears off your screen is when you brake. You're going to drop to fourth gear. Now, this is where you do want to stay in fourth gear because it allows the car to be more stable and less understeery. As you go through here, chuck it left. Avoid all the sausages. You hit a sausage, you'll go flying. So, avoid sausages, but try and abuse the curbs where you can as we advance towards the Parabolica. Very hard corner to get right, this, the Parabolica. Now, you're braking before the 100 meter board, sorry, but after the 150, it's around 120 meters. And this one's an interesting one because you're going to stay in fourth gear for a bit longer than you expect, then go to third gear. I do it a bit wrong here. You can see you can brake a bit later and carry more speed, but you want to be in third gear for this corner on the exit. If you change too early down, you're going to lose the rear end. So do be careful there. That is the lap guide of Monza in this Honda. Let's jump to race B. We're in Brazil then for race B, and we're in Group 3 machinery. Now, if you remember the old school days of GT Sport, remember this is the track where Balance of Performance was done. So do expect a lot of cars to be very close here because I suspect they may still use this. I don't know for sure, but I reckon it will be one of the tracks for sure because it has a mixture of all sorts. What are we doing here? Well, we're racing 6 laps. It's a rolling start, which you don't need to worry about. Racing car tyres, we have to use them sometimes, I suppose, but I really don't like them, and everything else is as standard for race B. I chose the Porsche because it's sort of like the average go-to car in terms of Group 3. I'm not sure what's going to really push towards the forefront. You may see a lot of Ford GTs there. That seems to be quite a meta car at the moment, as a car to go to in terms of speed, but a bit harder to control. Let's jump to the race then. Let's have a look at exactly what happens because we've got a bit of contact in this one. We are then at the start, and as you see, a mixture of cars, but a lot of Porsches, to be fair. We've got an Aston Martin DBR9 in front of us. We'll see how that goes, because it's very slow accelerating that car, but it does have a hell of a top speed. As we head towards turn 1 then, it's in front of me. I'm looking down the inside already. In towards turn 1 we go as we hit the braking. Oh, very close there, but we managed to survive here. Through the right we go. They just keep that position. Robbie behind, driving very well, backs out of that as I was on the inside of Itza. As we go through this corner, Itza giving me enough room as well. Beautiful racing already here. Straight off the bat here. Lap 1, second one. Oh, a little bit of tap there. They didn't realize the track comes in a little bit, maybe. I'm not too sure. Anyway, in towards the left we go, and it's still beautiful side-by-side racing. Look at this. Oh, it gave me just enough room again. Well played, Inter. Oh, Inferno Fox has gone in the Suzuki Vision Gran Turismo. Sorry to see that, Inferno Fox. As we head towards the right-hander then, and Itza round the outside gets the position, or keeps it, should I say. Brilliant, brilliant racing with Itza and Robbie here. Robbie looking down the inside. Going to have to give a little bit of room there on the inside for Robbie. There's a slight tap, nothing major there. Maybe a little bit ping pong behind, not too sure. Through the left we go. We've still got Itza in our radar right now as we head towards the right-hander then, in towards breakers. There we go. Itza nearly into the back of Lumo. A bit of oversteer there. Too much. We're going too slow. That's the problem with the Porsche. You're going too slow. Itza went a bit deep then as well. Tried to accelerate a bit too early. and we get that position finally as we look to catch up to Lumo. Then in towards the left we go. Oh, Robbie launched it. Stopped it, though. Now, that surprised me. I thought Robbie was a gunner there. Well played, Robbie, with that. Well played indeed. You stopped that perfectly. My word. Good stuff there. Through left we go then. And we're in a right train of cars here. We've got Shelty in the Beetle, of course. Would Shelty be in anything else? I have no idea. But we continue on then in the slipstream of this AMG Mercedes. I'm pretty sure that's an actual livery in real life as well. Do not quote me on that, but somebody will be able to say in the comments. We're looking left. We're looking right here. And we're looking back left. We go back to the right. We go to the left. We're selling them, and Lumo's so focused on the rear view, goes a bit deep into Shelty then. Now, I'm on the outside here. Now, I was trying to give it enough space there, but a slight bit of contact. Lumo realizes the mistake there, backs out of it. I come back on, but the car just wants to oversteer. I try and catch it. Unfortunately, the catches Lumo out, sends Lumo off. I try and get out of the way here at this point, right over to the left-hand side. Let everybody go here, and then we'll carry on. A bit of carnage there. Really was a bit of carnage. I think Lumo just made a mistake there, and then obviously tried to correct it. Tried to let me go. Then I got oversteered, and more contact. Just a bit messy in the grand scheme of it, but it's all good. We continue racing here as Robbie gets on the inside of Lumo. I'm getting the inside of Lumo as well. Lumo there. Ooh, a little bit of contact again. But even so, we're up a position now, finally. Robbie on the inside of Seraphim. Angel in towards the next braking zone we go. And Angel going to send it down the inside here. And a bit of contact again. So I'm going to try on the outside now. Lots of racing action here on this lap in particular. But I think this is the kind of racing you will see at Interlagos. Once one fight happens, everyone will get into that fight very quickly, and what that tends to happen then is a little bit of contact here and there, but we try and survive it, and we do indeed. We're up into P10 there as we go through the left, getting the job done. Finally! Took a lap, but we finally got it done. But I reckon you'll see this kind of thing. It's very hard to overtake it into Interlagos, but when that fighting happens, everybody will get mixed up into it very, very, very quickly. But we're so far off the rest of the pack. This is what will happen, is that once you've got out that pack, you won't be able to catch up to anybody else. And as you see here, it's the final lap. I finally catch up to the next train. But fortunately, it's the end of the race. So we do finish in P10 in that one. We did set a fastest lap in there as well. But well played to Chelsea, getting P7 in the end there. Right, I know you've seen it a million times, but we're going to go to a track guide of Interlagos here because people will have never seen the track guide before. So on the left-hand side, you have two red canopies. It's the second one. Or on the right, the stair colour changes. You can't see it because of the crowd in this one, but in the practice mode, you will see a grey stair. Use that there. That's on the right-hand side. Or, as I say in the race, use the second canopy on the left, the red one. Through here, you want a short shift. Be careful about going over that curb. And then it's foot to the floor in the Porsche. It will stick as it goes round. That downforce really playing a part there as you continue on out. In towards the next corner then, the left-hander. On the right-hand side, you're looking for the 100-meter board or the marshal box or the end of the wall. Or, in fact, you can actually use the piece of tarmac just after the 100-meter board as well. Loads of markers on the right-hand side. Pick any one of those you like, and in you go. Now, you may want to short shift here to stop oversteer because it can happen quite easily because it's a little bit downhill. The rear will want to come out. Less weight over it, of course, as we continue uphill now into the really complex section. On the left-hand side is another marshal box, okay? And you're going to brake just before this. Now, sometimes you might want to go 2 gears or 1 gear and then do 1 gear later on. It's really dependent on the car. I go 2 gears in the Porsche here. It keeps it settled. Clip the first curb, clip the second curb, over to the left-hand side. And that tyre mark there, it looks like eyebrows, essentially, clipping the curb. The start of that is my brake marker here in Group 3 on the hard tyre. So use that. You're going to slow the car down, and you can really use a lot of that curb on the right-hand side. Flick it over to the left. You'll dab the brake a little bit here. You're just maintaining the speed and the bounce of the car. Boost it out of here. Again, you might want to short shift early there as we head up to this right-hander. Now, you can use the end of the billboard on the left, the dark green in the left-hand side, or on the right-hand side, where that piece of tarmac ends there and the curb starts. That's actually a really good marker that I've started using now here at Interlagos for this right-hander. Through we go. Again, be careful on exit of oversteer. You can see you get a bit there. Now, this corner, you will have to lift a little bit. Make sure you clip the curb. Don't go fully over it. Then a belt and braces all the way to the last corner here then. And on the right-hand side, you've got a cross in the fence. It's after the curb. You're braking just before this, okay? It's a really nice marker to use. I used to use a piece of grass, as you know, or a piece of dirt. I now use that part of the fence, and then you beat it out here as quick as possible. Be careful of understeer. Just because you're going uphill, the weight will go to the rear as well. And because Group 3 cars accelerate hard, it just lifts the nose a bit too much. That's it for race B. Let's head to race C. We're in Italy at Lago Maggiore. Of course we are, because there's that many variations of Lago Maggiore. You'll see at Lago Maggiore a lot in the daily races. We're in Group 4, but what exactly are we doing at the full circuit? Well, we're racing 10 laps It's a rolling start. We've got the racing medium and hard tyres. Only the hard is required, so a bit of strategy maybe there. Times 7 fuel. That is the big number here. Times 7 fuel. And, of course, we're in Group 4. Now, I decided to choose the Ferrari for this one. While the Audi TT I know was probably going to be better, I thought, hey, let's see if another car will work. Let's jump to the race then. Let's have a look at all the different strategies that play a part of this and how well I actually do in the Ferrari. Here we are then at the start. So you can see mainly TTs. We've got a few RCZs. We've got a Silvia in there or two. We've got a BMW up ahead as well. Now the starts. The Ferrari is just rapid at the start. So we're already overtaking TCR Jammy. Shout out to you, Jammy, as we then took into the BMW. Now, as I say, this is a fuel-saving race. The Ferrari has 7 gears. And I also have a fuel video at the very end of this video you can click. Very interesting, and it'll tell you exactly how to save fuel, exactly the performance hit you have with fuel map versus short shifting, etc. Very good video to check out if you're interested in how to improve your fuel saving. Okay. So, let's get back into this race. We've got Joey ahead in the BMW. That's definitely a car I wouldn't pick for this one as we go through the right-hander. And you can see the power difference already. Look at us. We're catching down the inside already of the BMW as we head towards this right-hander then and in towards the braking zone. Now, you may notice my tyres are racing hard tyres. So I've decided here I'm going to do the no-stop. And I think the no-stop is probably going to be the quicker of the two strategies. As we see CPB going, oh, we've got spinny, oh, Van's gone there. Van VR, I'm assuming they're in VR spinning. That'll look very interesting for sure. But we're going to advance further on here to lap number 3. Now, I've advanced to lap number 3 in particular because, remember, this race is about strategy. Fuel saving is going to be big here. And what Moo's about to do here is very interesting. You see Moo catching up to me in the Audi TT. Catching. Flashes me there. I didn't even realize you flashed me there. The light's been so small in the Audi. And then just lets off there, trying to save the fuel. Because the fuel is very tight. It's 10% per lap you need to save. You need to keep that in mind. If you save a bit more, then obviously you can use a bit more at the end of the race. We've got to lap number 6 now, where I've caught up to Shelty a little bit. A lot of people will have pit. You can see on the right-hand side on that mini-map where the pit stoppers are. They're all in a big old gaggle. But the problem here is, if you pit on lap 1, you still have to fuel save a little bit. If you pit on lap 2, you don't. So if you're going to pit on lap 2, see Fallon's had a bit of an issue here. Shelty just gets by, but I don't before the ghosting. So it's going to cost me quite a bit of time here as we go through the S's. So I would recommend pitting on lap 2, and I'm going to do a little video around this potentially. We'll see what happens. Whether lap 2 pitting and going onto the mediums and then absolutely launching it, or whether this no-stop works better. As I say, I think the no-stop works a little bit better to me personally. You've got traffic and all sorts. As we go down the inside of Fallon, then in towards the braking zone we go. We outbrake that Peugeot RCZ. Up into P4 we go, which is brilliant stuff for us. And we're still in the slipstream of Shelty. Now, I want to talk about fuel saving as well. Oh, actually, forget about that. Fallon's just absolutely sent it into this left-hander. Slight bit of tap there. Or do we stay on? We just stay on here. They do let off and let me continue to go. So fair play. Maybe they misjudged it. Maybe they just wanted to go for it. I'm not too sure. We're going to continue on then. And here we go. Lap number 8 then. And Fallon is very close behind this time and absolutely sending it. Look at the speed difference here. Fuel saving versus non-fuel saving. They've just absolutely sent it there. And that's what I mean about fully sending it. If you pit stop, you're going to have to absolutely launch it. Go for it everywhere. On the medium tyres as well, you will save a lot of time. Moo there with a 205.2 in terms of fastest laps. You're probably talking 205, 204 there with slipstream. It's very interesting indeed. So Fallon looking down the inside is Shelty then. Tap Shelty's rear end here. Shelty's going to be drifting there. Look at that. And Shelty, oh, it's gone. No, holds it. Shelty holds it. Well played, Shelty. As we go through the left. One thing you will have noticed with this race is doing the no-stop. It's a bit boring, isn't it? Let's be honest with you. Because all you're doing is fuel saving. You're strategizing where to save fuel. Now, saving fuel. Going downhill is where you want to short shift more. Because you're going downhill. The momentum will carry you. Going uphill, you'll want to use a bit more res to maintain that power. Keep that in mind when you're fuel saving. Fallon goes into the pits. We're going to advance then towards the last lap. Where nothing changes, and the French driver Ad Vitam wins there. Shelty in P2, and I get P3. So the Ferrari did work with the no-stop. Do other cars work? Well, that's going to require a bit of testing. The TT obviously going to be good. Now I'm going to jump to the lap guide, which I'm going to do in the Ferrari, but the brake markers are the same. And turn 1, we're using him again. He's back. It's Blue Van Man on the left-hand side. Look at that. There he is. So you can use that there on the left-hand side, or the end of the pit wall, of course. And you're going to drop it down to second gear. This is obviously on the medium tyre. into the next corner, the hairpin then. On the right-hand side, you've got that white bit of grass there, you know, painted grass, whatever you want to call it. You're going to brake at the end of that. Sometimes you'll drop first gear, sometimes you'll stay in second. It depends what you're doing here. And really boot it out here. Remember, Group 4 don't suffer with that much oversteer, power oversteer. You can really boot them very quickly. Into the left, you're going to want to slightly lift here. Get on the inside of that curb if you can, over towards the left-hand side. And the end of the orange barrier on the right-hand side is your brake marker, okay? The end of the orange barrier there. And literally hit the brakes, turn in, you drop a gear as well. And if you can cut it a little bit, I dropped 2 gears there, in fact. But I reckon 1 gear will be enough. You can maintain a lot more speed there. The way I do it a bit rubbish there, to be honest. You can do it a little bit better. Right, we're going to head down towards the right-hander here. And on the left-hand side, you got long concrete curb in there. It's very tiny, but hey, it's a marker, isn't it? The end of that concrete there, or maybe just before it in some cars. Hit the brakes. Be careful about running wide down onto the grass because you normally brake in a straight line. And you want to clip the inside if you can. Boost it up this hill. This hill, very significant in terms of power. This is where I recommend you don't fuel save. Use a bit more power. Get up the hill as quick as you can. On the left-hand side, then, you have the end of the fence there on the left-hand side. That is your brake marker for this left-hander. You're going to basically hit the brakes, drop a gear, turn in, okay, and let the car roll through the corner as we continue on. Now, try and abuse the curb on the right as much as you can. Then chuck it over to the left, and it should be foot to the floor throughout this entire section, okay? It's flat out, that entire section, as we continue on here. In fact, we'll fast forward towards the next brake marker, which is going to be the 50 board or the end of the wall or anything on this left-hand side here, okay? You want to brake quite late here. You sort of want to use the camber, so brake late, turn in late, and just use the camber to power off the corner. Look at this. A boom. It's just foot to the floor. You want to get up this hill as quick as possible as you go left and over towards the right. This is flat out in most cars, and then we head over towards that left-hand side. Now, we're going to use a brake marker here, which most people don't like, and there's a gap in the trees there. I've highlighted it. You can't see it, but it gets more prominent as you get closer towards this brake marker. There's a gap in the trees. Use that as your brake marker. It's the perfect brake marker, okay, as we took it in. Now, you want to abuse a bit of the curb there. Head out towards the left-hand side. Lift or brake at the end of the curb there to then turn back in. I normally lift initially, and I'll dab the brake if I've just not got enough speed reduced there. But you're going to lift off here, not just a dab of the brake there. I'm trying to slow the car down. A bit too quick into there, but all the same. Over towards the left-hand side, you can abuse that sausage if you want to, if you get on the inside of it, of course, as we head towards the last corner then. And on the left-hand side, we have all the billboards. The very last one there, the end of that billboard is your brake marker. You can cut quite a lot of the inside curb here. That's coming up. So I normally drop a gear and I chuck it in, and then I really want to boost it as quick as I can. Really maximize the downhill as well. Carry that speed and head towards the line. That is a lap of Maggiore full circuit in Group 4. Let's have a look at some of the bloopers. Okay, first up, Turn 1 Monza. Let's have a look from a bit further back then. Arky's position. Check out Arky's on YouTube. Malo comes in a bit hot there. Avoids Shelty. Avoids me as well. Fair play there. See a little bit of contact in the distance there. I think it's just misjudging there. Everyone survived, pretty much. Everyone survived, which is awesome to see. Right, let's jump to Shelty then. We'll have a look at the Parabolica. I thought I'd show you this from back, by the way, because look how good this looks. You can go 3 wide, you can go 4, you probably go 5 wide in these cars. Look how, it just looks fun, doesn't it? It does look fun. As we head towards the Parabolica then, I'm on the inside, so I just fixed OBS at that point. And let's look, Chicken Angel goes deep, Dav goes deep, Shelty's on the inside here. Dav just comes back on there. Milo just tapped Shelty there after being tapped by Dav. But again, just a small incident, nothing major. Up ahead though, Inferno Fox. Already had the 0.5 second penalty then. That was from the first lap. In towards the braking zone we go, and that, left rear tyre just clips the grass. And, I mean, well held. And a nice little reset there for you as well, so you don't lose too much time. But yeah, that was a good hold, to be fair, Inferno. Really good hold. Right, we stay on board with Inferno Fox as we go to race B then in the Suzuki as we go into the left. And going to boost it out. Oh, just on the slippy old stuff there, Inferno Fox. The dark green stuff. Avoid that at all costs there as Inferno Fox spins round. Let's have a look at my move on Lumo then. This was a talking point in the video, of course. In towards brake zone. Lumo just out-brakes themselves then. And they're trying to stop the car there. Hit Shelty. Shelty will go for the cut. Now, Lumo just out-brakes himself again for the second part of the S. I come back on. I'm going to get all sorts. You can see that I'm trying to recover here. Slight tap then with Lumo as we continue on. And, yeah. I lifted a bit too early, I would say, with Angel. I was meant to lift and get out of the way. I wasn't expecting them to follow me. Looking from Lumo's perspective, just in too deep there. You can see they're trying their hardest to brake. And coming into here, just full throttle a bit too long there. Causes a second contact as we continue on through here. You see my drifting at that point, trying to capture it. Lumo just, ran me tight there. To be fair, I probably didn't need to lift, to be honest with you, because Lumo sort of instigated the incident, but I lifted, I gave position back as we continued racing. So Lumo then got absolutely ransacked by Porsches at this point. So Lumo in the Mercedes gets done by Angel here, and then Robbie, and then it's just left to hung out to dry here, and I'm going to go on by as well. I'm not sure they're on bumper cam to see me go by there. That is it in terms of the bloopers. Unfortunately, not much happened in race C, and I didn't even say the replay anyway. But that is it for the bloopers and this video. If you did like it, do give it a like. Thumbs ups do help the channel. Subscribe as well if you want to stay in touch with all the latest content. But that is it for me, folks. Have a good day. Have a good week's racing, and I hope to see you in another video or live stream again very soon.